With the announcement that North America is combining into one region, NA Central, a lot more players, including myself, are going to have to get used to playing on high ping, so let's look at 6 tips that you will need to use to help yourself fight on worse ping. On high ping, it is much harder to actually take your opponent's pieces, and so you need to find a way to give yourself more of an advantage. This comes from swinging at multiple different pieces. Try to hit your opponent's cones, walls, and floors, and make your movement extremely unpredictable. The goal here is to have your opponent not be holding onto the piece that you are trying to take. This will allow you to take the piece from your opponent where you can quickly finish off the fight. When you are defensively fighting, you might be in the habit of just assuming you're going to hold the wall successfully. This is a bad habit to be in even on low ping, but on high ping it becomes even worse. This means that you need to make a ton of space when you get pressured, and instead of just straight holding your wall, you need to go for counter shots to prevent your opponent from continual pressure. But as soon as you take this counter shot, you need to be prepared to get out of the box that you are currently in, because it is much more likely that your opponent will get control of whatever piece he was trying to take. With an increased ping, your mechanics, so your building and editing, will objectively get slower, but there's one thing that doesn't change with high ping, and that is your aim. This means that it is even more important than ever to be practicing your aim daily. Whether it's Kovacs or an in-game aim trainer, you need to start ramping up your aim practice, as having better aim than your opponent is going to be one of the largest differentiators between good players and great players, with your mechanical ability being reduced by the increased ping. If you're used to hitting a full piece god clip on every player you see because of your low ping, you might struggle a lot to adapt to the new increase in ping. This means you need to slow down your fighting and focus a lot more on taking extremely safe angles where you can rely on your aim to win you more fights. This means that instead of trying to get extremely aggressive on your opponents, you play back a little bit more in order to give yourself more time to react to potential counterplay from your opponent. With higher ping, it is much harder to react to your opponent's moves, so being able to predict your opponent's moves before he does it can give you more time to properly set up piece control. I highly recommend you watch this video that will be linked on the end screen if you want more details about how to predict your opponent, but to give you the basics, you need to start by picking up the body language of your enemy and understand what it means. Get used to watching your opponent in his box, and if he starts to run out to the right, then you can properly predict that he will then leave the box to the right, and you can properly set up piece control to eliminate this player. I have told high ping players this for a long time, and it is even more important now, but the largest advantage to having low ping is the fact that you can't use your ping as an excuse for why you died. It will be objectively frustrating to play on a significantly higher ping than what you are used to, and there will be many scenarios that you will die in now that you would not have died in if you were on the lower ping, but in every one of these scenarios there was some mistake that you made that was the actual reason you died. It's just that you don't have the low ping to bail you out anymore. Alright, with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want some more tips that are very helpful for playing on high ping, check out the video on screen. Peace.